What helps you go to sleep when you don't feel tired? Reading. It's kinda sad, but I've realized books put me to sleep now, even if it's an exciting book. Edit. Many people are asking, so I'll explain here. Reading is not sad in itself. I love reading. I think it's sad because reading started to put me to sleep, so I now read much less than I used to as a kid. Oh, and thanks for the shinies. How it's made. That shit should be called how it's melatonin. 2:30 a.m. Honey, what are you watching at this time of the night? A video on YouTube about how hummus is made. Background voice. Then the chickpeas travel on the conveyor belt to a saline bath. Background voice. Then the chickpeas travel on the conveyor belt to a saline bath. Just reading this made me yawn. Lol. Made me horny. Too bad my lil chickpea is still sleeping. You named your dog Chickpea? I'm sickened but curious. Ah yeah, he's about to be mackin' some sweet hummus. I learned a trick recently that helps me a lot. I count backwards from 99. Slowly. The key is to do it slowly, and I cannot emphasize the importance of that enough. Think the number, then take a pause that feels a little bit too long before thinking the next number, then take another pause. 99. Pause. 98. Pause. 97. Pause. 96. Pause. The lowest I've ever counted is into the 60s or maybe the 50s before I fall asleep. Often, I'm asleep before I'm through the 80s. Sometimes I'll lose track of what the next number is because I catch myself falling asleep, so I'll start over, and I always fall asleep quickly after that. Again, the key is to count backward. SLOWLY. Before I started doing this, I used to toss and turn in bed for hours trying to fall asleep. But this knocks me out in minutes. Maybe you're wondering why start at 99? Why not 100? If I start at 100, I hear Bono's voice from the Rattle and Hum version of Bullet the Blue Sky, saying slapping him down. 100. 200. Which eventually leads to am I bugging you? Don't mean to bug you from silver and gold. And that bugs me, which makes it even harder to fall asleep, god damn it. So, I start at 99 instead, because duck that. I'm at minus 486, did I do it wrong? You're not SLOW enough. My heartbeat starts beating faster the slower I count. And my breathing tries to sync with my counting, which starts to suffocate me. You are still falling asleep. A long sleep if I would say so myself. White noise, such as rain sounds. I play some stories in my head. Like you're suddenly a character in your favorite series and what would you do and stuff. I do the same thing, though sometimes the plot gets too deep and it causes me to not be able to sleep for even longer. It's a problem. Yeah, that happens to me too actually. I tell myself then I continue in the morning and then make the plot go to night time. I mostly never continue the plot in the morning, it's just a sweet little lie I tell myself. I do that too, I get super invested into the story and then go nowhere with it. Perhaps we should use this power to be writers or something. I started writing 2 books actually. Both are around page 20 haha. One I want to go on with, it's kinda a wild concept of parallel worlds and unwanted traveling between them. Haha, I actually write too, I've been doing it for a long time now, I'd like to say it gets easier the more you do it, and maybe it does but maybe I'm also just bad at it also would read the hell out of that, I like twisty stuff like that. What are you writing about usually? Sounds like you have a super creative mind. See, if you want I can jump into your DMs and tell you the gist of my story idea. I think both of you'd enjoy your world building. I do this thing that the US Army does. They start from their feet and only focus on one body part at a time. They completely relax their whole body section by section and then once completely relaxed they try not to think of anything and fall asleep in about 10 seconds. It used to take about 20 minutes for me to fall asleep by just laying there with my eyes closed, but I tried this last week and I fell asleep straight away. Edit, BTW I'm only 14 and my only source about the army was my friend's dad in the army, so I don't know if it was just his regiment, but for anyone saying that this isn't true I don't know for sure if it's true for the whole military. Edit 2, I said I was only 14 to let some of you know that I wasn't actually in the army and it's not first-hand experience. I remember I was staying at my grandma's house one time when I was little and I was homesick, and she told me to do this, and in the morning she said I didn't even get past my knees. My ma talked me through this when I was a kid too, but we combined breathing. So for example, you inhale and feel your breath go all the way down to your toes, exhale and feel it come all the way back up. Repeat, work your whole body, boom, relaxed. Think it's a yoga thing too maybe? It's a meditation technique, I believe? Yes, progressive muscle relaxation, or PMR. It's also called body scan, I think. Well, not Reddit, that's for sure. Sent at 2:47 in the morning. Edit, I thankfully did end up falling asleep and yada yada etc. Thanks for the silver. Seen at 4:45 a.m. Central Time Zone insomniacs represent. Thinking about all the gophers I didn't run over in 2005. We come from the land of the ice and snow, from the midnight sun, where the hot springs flow. Re, you gonna take me home tonight? Ah, down beside that red firelight. Masturbate. Apparently it always wakes my nan up though, she's a light sleeper if a lamp's on. How did you find out? When he accidentally came on her. Accidentally? Bold of you to assume that. Like I say, on is better than in. He does say this often. So does his nan. Thinking about the big sad and cry myself to sleep. I just make up stories in my head. Sometimes I'm in the world of a TV show I like, or in my own little dream universe I made where I have made up characters and such. And eventually I just fall asleep doing this. Edit may not be that much, but I'm actually really happy about 1.8k upvotes on my first comment ever. Thank you. I have imaginary conversations with fictional characters. Sometimes I vent or ask for advice, guidance, sometimes I give it. Sometimes I antagonize them. Sometimes I'm a character in their universe, part of their story. Sometimes I'm still me, but I got stuck in their universe somehow. Sometimes I appear early in their story and have foreknowledge of their adventures and meticulously plan out how to minimize their tragedies. Eventually I'm dreaming. I totally used to be able to do that, but as I grew up my head got worse and now I can barely finish a sentence. There bruh, I'm always here to finish your sentence. But, I wish someone would finish my dinner, because I've overeaten today and I'm struggling too. Put my clothes on and wake up too. My 23 dogs, all of whom are good boys. Bob Ross videos. This is so silly, but I watched the '09 Sherlock Holmes movie with RDJ. Puts my ass right to sleep like I done been knocked out. Head tilt, 12 degrees. Right arm, below pillow. Right leg, out of blanket. Left leg, 45 degrees. Outcome, 8-hour slumber. Cheesy as it is, Bob Ross panting videos on YouTube. He makes me feel safe and secure, talking on and on about his animals. I love falling asleep to the funny stories he tells about his paintings. He calms me down a lot when I'm feeling anxious or upset, which is mainly the reason I stay up, and I can drift off dreaming about happy little clouds and trees, and a river that Bob fishes in. Or well catches a fish, gives it CPR, names it and gives him a little pat on the toot toot and sends him on his way lamau. Edit, oh wow gold. I guess as is customary I thank the person for it. Well, thank you. Probably not the healthiest method and not something to rely on, but eating a large meal knocks me out. I do the same. I eat a big ass sandwich with almost everything in it, and sleep with a warm chubby tummy. It's not the best method, but it is one of the best feelings about sleeping for sure. Pretending to be asleep. Fake it till you make it? Melatonin. Tried it. Exacerbated my restless legs. Apparently it's a thing. Great. I've noticed stretching really helps ease my restless leg syndrome. You mean I could have been doing that instead of punching my legs to punish them for misbehaving?